Thank you for tuning in to the Northern Miner here at the annual PDAC convention in Toronto. Setting junior miners up for success is a partnership between Syntax and SAP. Here to tell us more about it is Michelle Smith, the VP for the mining practice at Syntax, and Rudy Schroeder, the head of mining at SAP. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start off by asking each of you to introduce us briefly to your companies. Let's start with you, Rudy.
Well, SAP is one of the largest ERP software vendors globally. The mining industry is a big customer of ours, so you will find a lot of mining companies of all sizes using our enterprise resource planning solutions, which stretches like from finance to enterprise asset management, any kind of logistics, sales, production, those kind of things, warehousing, for example. And you will find all kind of sub-industries from mining services to all kind of commodities using our solution portfolio.
Okay, and you, Michelle?
Yeah, so Syntax is a partner of SAP. We're one of their platinum partners globally. And my practice focuses on mining industry. And you'll find that about 90% of mining companies use SAP. And we come in and I have a team of experienced mining resources who only work on mining implementations. We come in, we have a pre-configured system, quickly deploy it, so they're up and running in SAP as quickly as possible.
All right. So you've been walking the floors here at the PDAC. What are some of your initial observations? What's the mood like here for you? Let's start with Michelle.
Sure, yeah. So been walking the floor, and especially on the mining floor where the mines are, hearing a lot of talk, obviously, here in Canada about the tariffs and what are going on there, the impact to the mining industry, what that means for them from a revenue perspective, getting their funding. Then also a big talking point over the past year is AI. How does AI help them? What can they get out of AI in the mining industry? And that's something that we can help them with. And obviously, the junior mines are looking for investors. Lots of discussion in investing. Another area that SAP and Syntax can help them is with getting their finance system up for them, make them attractive to those investors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can add to Michelle's point, sustainability in all aspects is quite important here as well. So we see presentations about women in mining, for example, the collaboration with indigenous people, for example. So it's not always like carbon emissions or any kind of pollution also, which is under the sustainability umbrella, but we will find all these kind of sustainability topics which are important to the mining industry. And they are typically more important to the mining industries than most of the other industries you talk to.
Okay. Right. So SAP is known for supporting some of the major miners of our world, such as Rio Tinto, Vale, and even BHP. What is your focus here at the PDAC? And could you perhaps give some examples of how the offering works in the field?
It is true that we have been working historically a lot with our large customer base. You mentioned a few names. With a lot of development and exploration going on in the new energy material spaces, lithium, cobalt, rare earths. We find a lot of investment is going into this area and a lot of exploration money is going in there. We see then that those companies are growing, and they are growing out of their initial stages relatively quickly, especially if they get funding and they have the backing behind it. So they are looking typically into an ERP solutions for financial compliance. As they start building a mine, then they need to support the processes going with this, starting with procurement. Are they buying equipment? So they need this. So at some point, they're growing out of the Excel spreadsheet stage or relatively simple accounting software stages. And investors also, they want to look into the books and they want to make sure that those numbers are correct. And with our newer solution offerings, like in public cloud, which is very scalable, starting from very small miners, maybe not with a two-person company or so, but if you have a few dozens already or so, then I think it's becoming very cost attractive, and they can grow and scale with it. So they start maybe with 50 users or even less, and then as they grow and expand their footprint, or maybe they get the funding to acquire an existing mine, they have already the foundation in place and can basically expand from there, and have then the foundation for future growth basically set up.
Okay. And then, of course, you're working with the junior sector as well. Michelle, can you perhaps share some of the key insights there? What are some of their biggest worries, and how does your solution help address those?
Yeah, and expanding on what Rudy just shared with you, biggest thing is their funding, getting their funding, making sure they have the cash flow and the capital to attract to continue to do your exploration, and attract those investors. So the biggest thing for us with the SAP public cloud solution for the junior mines, it's, cost effective for them. They don't have a lot of money to invest in an ERP system, but they need the transparency. They need to be able to give quick real-time numbers, and it is scalable. And then once they get into that exploration, they need to be able to track their data, have easy access to that data that they can share with their auditors. So for us, it's they need the funding. They want to know that they have their permits. They want to be able to scale and continue to drill. And SAP solutions help give them that traceability, visibility to their data, so they can give quick analytical reports out to their investors and to governments.
Mm-hmm. So the crux really is it helps to streamline the reporting burden on companies, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, and then as the processes grow, then supporting all the logistical processes from warehousing, procurement, quality management, for example, if you do assaying and in these areas, for example. And when they start, they typically are very budget conscious. Yeah, so they don't have the $1 million budgets a large company typically has when they endeavor in any kind of software project or any kind of project. So they're looking basically for quick implementations of software. They want to have a quick return of investment, and they don't want to pay more than necessary. So they don't want to buy 100 licenses if they only have 20 users.
In a nutshell then, how does this solution help to drive profit for customers? How do they create value?
Well, the first thing is transparency and cost transparency, cost tracking, for example. It helps to reduce, for example, manual activities. So you don't have to fill out spreadsheets. You can automate tasks. This way you have efficient processes. You save money on that one. You gain trust from external stakeholders and auditors that your books are in order. You don't waste, for example, money on excess inventory because you don't know where it is. So you have all this transparency, and then you can build the analytics around this with your dashboards, and you can drill in as you need to have all the financial KPIs, logistics KPIs at a fingertip and see where you're venturing off plan or off budget, and can early on try to steer in a different directions. If you notice, for example, well, this project is going over budget, for example, why is this happening? Further down the road, you may apply maybe some artificial intelligence logic, for example, for some more explanations. Where does the variations come from? How can I go against, or how can I find countermeasures for that? So these are kind of the things which you can do with proper software.
Excellent. All right. Any other points to add, Michelle?
Some of our clients really find the benefit in, being able to track their equipment, their spend. To Rudy's point, the lost inventory, that's a big issue historically, not knowing where all your spare parts are, your wares and spares are. So being able to track that, know where it is, so you're not losing money on investing in more equipment and parts that you don't need.
Yeah, okay, fair points. Okay, so for those viewers who are interested, how do they proceed to get started to getting involved with SAP?
It's relatively simple. So there's a website, naturally, sap.com, and then you can go to industries and you can go to mining there. So we have a dedicated website for the mining industry and for many other industries. So you will find a lot of additional information there. You can find us on LinkedIn, for example. So we have a group there for metals, or I think mill and mining is it, in which we are monitoring, for example. You can find us there under SAP, and then you can reach out, of course, directly on LinkedIn to me or Michelle. Happy to answer any questions we may get, and then direct it to the right resource, whatever is needed.
All right. And perhaps, is there anything else coming down the pipeline over the next 12 months? Any new developments to share at this time?
We are investing heavily in our public cloud solution. So this is one of the biggest investment areas we currently have in SAP. We are complementing the solutions as we go with new functionality, for example, enhanced functionality. A big topic is sustainability topics. Typically not so important for junior miners, but around the carbon emissions, carbon accounting, for example. We invest heavily into artificial intelligence. We just released, for example, a new version, which is called now Business Data Cloud, which gives a platform to integrate data from various sources, help customers transition to the cloud, apply AI logic, for example, to the data as they grow. So these are some of the big topics right now.
Excellent. Thanks
and
for
then,
that. Yes.
And then for Syntax, the SAP partners, so you can contact us at syntax.com, also on LinkedIn. But we do have a mining and metals page on our website. But what I wanted to share also is that SAP does have a mining advisory council. Syntax also has a mining user group where we bring the peers together from around the globe that are using SAP and SAP products, and allows them to share their experiences, come in with new requirements, new initiatives that they want, that we both invest in from our companies to help them bridge that gap, come up with new technology. So I think that's really an important aspect of joining the SAP family and the Syntax family, is having that network of mining clients that you can share your experiences with and be in the forefront of the next technology that's coming.
Yes. Thank you very much for making time to be here. That was Michelle Smith, the Vice President for Mining Practice at Syntax, and Rudy Schroeder, the Head of Mining at SAP.